Hey class, this video is going to walk you through how to use both the Excel data analysis tool pack to calculate the mean and the median and the range and the standard deviation. I'll then also show you the individual Excel functions on how to do that in case you could not get your data analysis tool pack to work, or if you had trouble installing it, depending on whatever factors. So that way you've got two different ways of doing these calculations. For the mode, I would advise you to sort the numbers yourself and then check it by hand, because there's a very sort of complicated roundabout way if your data set has multi-modes that is, like I said, pretty complicated. It's probably going to be easier just to go ahead and sort and check that yourself based on whichever number repeats the most. And you could have, let's suppose there are two numbers that are tied for the highest frequency. Then you would have two modes. But it's just going to be easier to do that by hand. So let me start out with the mode, and then I'll show you how to use the tool pack and Excel functions to do the other calculations. So to sort your numbers, well, first of all, when you get an MSL quiz question, there's that little icon that you click when it gives you a data set. And when you click the icon, it allows you to click Open in Excel, and then your numbers should be nicely already typed in going down column A, just like you see here. So remember, you should not be spending any time typing numbers from a question to the Excel spreadsheet, because you should be able to click the icon and get it to automatically import. So I've got my numbers to sort. You will want to click on Home up here at the top. Then go to this Sort and Filter button over here that you see. But first, before you do that, you're going to highlight your numbers. And if there are any column headings, names, don't include those. Only highlight, click and drag down the numbers. Then come to the A and Z Sort and Filter icon or button. Click that, sort smallest to largest, and then you'll go back and see that the numbers are sorted. Now notice each number only appears one time. So in other words, there's no particular number or numbers that occur more frequently than the others. And when that happens, we put that there is no mode. There's no mode here. None of the values occur more than the others. So that would be the answer if you get a situation where all the numbers occur the same number of times. All right. To do the mean, median, range, and standard deviation, which you were also asked to do on various questions on the first quiz, on the Unit 2 quiz, my preference is going to be to say to use the data analysis tool pack, because it does it all at once. But I will then also, in case you had trouble with that, show you the individual functions that do just fine, just takes you a little bit longer. All right, so to use the tool pack, and this is assuming you've already installed it, watching the live binder video, then I am going to click on Data at the top, come over here to Data Analysis. Now, if you did not install the tool pack, you won't see Data Analysis there, and you'd have to go either install it by watching the live binder video or just use the alternate way I'm going to show you in a little while. So I click Data Analysis. It brings up this pop-up right here. I will click on Descriptive Statistics, click OK, and I'll get this pop-up. And y'all, by the way, if you have any messages up top that say you need to click to enable editing, then make sure you click that. Otherwise, you won't be able to do anything in this window. So where it says input range, you make sure your mouse is clicked in there, and you come over here and highlight down your numbers. And I would advise you just to only highlight the numbers, no labels. If you do not include labels, you don't have to worry about checking off this box that says labels in the first row. So I just click and drag down the numbers, and notice it put cells A1 through A5 right here in the input range box, and that's what I want, A1 through A5. Then I click on Summary Statistics. And if I want my output in this same sheet rather than on a new sheet, then I will click Output Range, click my mouse in there, and where you see this highlighted cell, or you could even change it to a different place, maybe you want to change it here, then wherever you've highlighted a cell, that's where it's going to put your output. So I'll then click OK. There's my output. I'm going to split my mouse in between these two columns so that I can see more of the wording. Here is your mean, your median, your standard deviation. Let's see what else it asks for. And your range. Does them all instantaneously for you, all at one time. Now, if you cannot get the tool pack to work, then you're going to separately use the Excel function. So I'll start out by doing the mean or the average. Go to any blank cell, start out with an equal sign, capital letters, type the word average, open parentheses, click and drag down my numbers, only the numbers, not labels, close parentheses, enter. Notice I got the same mean as I did down here with the tool pack. To do the median, equals, MEDIAN, all caps, open parentheses, click and drag down only your numbers, no labels, close parentheses, enter. Notice the median agrees with the median. Range, well, actually, I'm going to say range because it's more complicated. Standard deviation, equal sign, STDEV, but notice Excel has P and S. You got to remember to do the one with .S. .S. That's for a sample. You'll get the wrong answer if you use the .P. Open parentheses, click and drag, close, press enter. Notice it agrees with my standard deviation down here. For the range is actually equal to the maximum value minus the minimum value so that it gives you the entire spread from the lowest to highest value. So here's what you have to do if you cannot get the tool pack to work. Equal capital max, open parentheses, click and drag down the numbers, close, then minus or dash minus, min, open parentheses, click and drag down your numbers, close, enter. Notice my range agrees with the range down here. So that is how you do the calculation questions on the quiz. And, you know, like I said, if you can either use the tool pack as I showed, or you can use these individual functions. Regardless, you definitely want to use Excel. Do not try to do these by hand because there's so much room for human error, especially with standard deviation, and it will take you much longer to do. And, you know, remember with your quiz, you're under the time constraint, which should be plenty of time, but you just don't really want to do these by hand. And then, of course, for the mode, do them by do that one by hand. But first, make sure you sort the numbers before you then look for the mode. And hope that that is helpful for your descriptive statistics questions on the quiz if you missed any of those.